Honorable Odonga, at least I would give it to you that on several occasions you've come out to raise red flags on the road in that house. Is there cause for excitement now that the top brass in Parliament have been netted? And could this be the small fish or big fish?
Yeah, I happen to be the only non-MP in this panel. The institutional...
But you also happen to be the longest serving.
Yes,
you did
the
20,
institutional
you did 20 years. Yes.
memory I have in Parliament for 20 years. I don't see any of you making that 20 years. Maybe Mwiru Paul. Others will be 1-2 terms and you will go wherever you came from. But
what a prophecy.
Outside there, today, I drove 500 kilometers to come to this show. People are very happy on the arrest of today. I am personally very happy that 7 individuals can steal money equivalent to the budget of a district. 7 people like this. People are struggling in Kibuku, in Mbarara, in Jinja. There are now so many districts. The whole district, education, health, production, they give 33 billion. But here are few individuals who are playing with taxpayers' money. So today, this is a big day in Uganda's history. It's a very big thumbs up for the IGG. It's a very big thumbs up for the judiciary. These are the kind of people to be remanded. Not just someone who is talking, singing a song, then you take them to the basement. These are the kind of people who should be taken to prison for haste, for theft, for corruption. So this is a very big day, and Ugandans out there, where I came from today, are happy. But the bigger question is, why now? President Museveni has been there for 40 years. Why now? Why 2026?
Does it have political undertones?
That is now where I come in. You see, there is what we call passive revolution. One of the great scholars, Antonio Gramsci, he spent so many years in prison in Italy, was opposing Mussolini, and he wrote about 30 books and about 3,000 articles. And he brought this concept of passive revolution. So to answer this question, why now? For me, as a political philosopher, I see an additional hand helping President Museveni. I see the hand of Muhoozi Kainerugaba in this. You remember the other time when they picked vehicles from the speaker's residence, that they should take them to Naguru. But they had to pass through the city square. It was like a parade with all those vehicles in car carriers. So the concept of passive revolution shows that a force emerges from within and entrenches the existing force for the better or for the worse. It has happened in the Iranian Revolution. It has happened in Senegal and in several countries. So we see an urge to fight corruption, because President Museveni is a leader who is, the word magnanimous is a little, is not appropriate. He would forgive a corrupt person if he can wear a yellow shirt. People steal money and they run and put on yellow. They even stuck some of the money in the pockets. As long as you're putting on the 70 shirt, it's very unlikely that you can be prosecuted for corruption. But we are seeing a passive revolution where the CDF, in the name of General Muhoozi, is saying, well, it's not enough to put on yellow. We are going to arrest you. Actually, I am privy to information.
Yeah, but is he getting the right targets in this case?
Actually,
these are not the accounting officers.
For me, it is immaterial. As long as you have stolen public funds, they should use any means possible to take you to prison.
Even if you're a conduit.
It is material. There's what we call in law tortfeasors. I am only surprised that some accounting officers in Parliament, like Paul Konobwa, like the clerk to Parliament, are out. Because Chris Obore did not jump through the ceiling board and rob the money. The money was cleared and they went and picked it from the bank and came out smiling. You see, Simon, The day they arrested this man who is in the International Criminal Court, Koyelo, who is the Lord's Resistance Army, the one who is in the International Criminal Dominic Ongwen. The very day Dominic Ongwen was arrested is the very day Kony started moving far away from Uganda. Because he knew that the peace talks were just a technique to grab him. So to me, the arrest of Obore and all those others is the first step to get towards Anita Mong. Because there is no way you can tell me the 5.2 billion used by Chris Obore was for him to buy perfumes and wear earrings, whatever. So this is the first step in the right direction.
Why wouldn't they go directly to the big fish? In this case, it is the speaker, the clerk, and the principal accountant.
And that's the politics. Information we have is that President Museveni disagreed with the army commander. General Mwiru wanted to arrest Anita. So the same diplomatic approach being used by the president to cushion those who steal public funds. That is not the case with General Mwiru. I have said on another program, and I want to say it here, even here in Machindi here, we have over 30 senior UPDF officers incarcerated because of corruption. So we are seeing a new wave, what I call a passive revolution, where corruption is not being tolerated. The means may be rudimentary, but is not being tolerated. Ugandans are watching. So the IGG should not be shy. The judiciary should not be shy. That parliament needs to be clean. But you should not clean people only when the president has disagreed with that person. There are many other scandals inside that parliament that needs to be investigated by the IGG. For example, since when did parliament start borrowing money from commercial banks? Yesterday we saw they are signing an MOU with Standard Chartered Bank for tarmac in Kidgum Kidepo Road. I'm very happy it is a road in our area. But since when did Parliament of Uganda start borrowing money from a commercial bank at that percentage? And this is the second time. The last Parliament also borrowed money from a commercial bank. It has a disadvantage. One, it is killing me. The banks will not offer me Odonga money. It's good business to lend government. Secondly, kickbacks. How can government of Uganda borrow money at 7% from a commercial bank? So that should be investigated. The parliamentary annex is not getting finished. The contract has been extended over 5 times. The new parliamentary buildings, the MPs are squatting on each other. It should be investigated. The contract to install cameras, CCTV cameras in parliament, which started during Rebecca's time, attracting 600 billion. The IGG should tell us why was it taken to classify the expenditure.
Do you want to suggest that the IGG has launched a serious onslaught, or the IGG is feeding into someone's politics?
I think the onslaught has been launched by General Mwiru. The IGG is just trying to be relevant and protecting their jobs. Otherwise, the first people who should have been arrested and incarcerated are the IGG and DPP, because they know these things were happening, but they are just joining now. So the fight on corruption should be holistic. Like Honorable Mwiru Paul, if you look at the president's letter today, complaining that Busega roundabout, the contract was increased from 600 billion to 1.3 billion. That is the function of leader of opposition. Now the whole president is now writing a letter like the leader of opposition. What is the opposition saying about this? Supposing the president did not complain. So there is a little mismatch in this fight of corruption. But those who are arrested, we are very happy. They can come and apply for bail. It is their constitutional right. But Ugandans are happy. Whoever is doing it, please thumbs up.
Well, as we take a very short break, what are the chances that this trial could take the course of the usual? People are arraigned before court, and after a few weeks, they are absolved.
Well, you have not amended the standard of proof for the judiciary, especially the technicalities. And therefore, I believe the judiciary will use the same rules they have been using. You, who is alleging, you are required to bring credible evidence that supports your allegation against me. I am not so sure that the procedure today, the Director Legal at Parliament was taking us through compliance with the procedures in Parliament. And he singled out instances where parliamentary committees have investigated abuses in different entities of government and cited a number of court decisions, as you know, where many reports of Parliament have, all sections, parts of reports of Parliament have been quashed, expunged, because the way you handled investigation. So since we have not amended this, I thought the best way would be if we think that the existing procedures, personnel that handle criminal matters are inadequate, the best way for the government should have been to come back to Parliament and say, hey, look here, police is not doing a good job. We want CMI, we want ISO to be part of the legal framework that investigates, arrests, pick up documents, and present. Now that we didn't do that, I'm suspicious that the good judges will not agree with Odonga, the lawyer, the political philosopher, that it doesn't matter. Yeah, if you are playing the politics, that's okay. If we want to do, I've written an article saying, from what Odonga said, that the president, having come in '86, when Ugandans were really in a dire need of civilized way of doing things, the president has been tough more on security, but on human failings. You can see the president has pardoned over 20 people over the years, over 20 people, high people, who were convicted on corruption. And before they complete their term of sentence, he pardons them. You remember that cow of Chigezi, of Kabari, to Togota, or somebody like that? He was caught after he was no longer even a cow. He had now become a returning officer in the Electoral Commission. I think of Mr. Rakabwai. You remember the case of Mulindo Aviru Maso? You remember the most recent case of Chandi Jamwa? You remember the case of Wamafa? So the president, I think, he understood what Uganda had gone through, and he does back and forth. You remember the question of Chogam, on Bukenya and others, Professor Bukenya, where he did pronounce himself, said he had got information that Bukenya was being framed. And
most recently, Namuju, who was described as an angel.
You remember the 4 MPs? So, I don't agree with yes, if we want a shock therapy, this is good. Shock therapy, you say, we're pouncing on the speaker, we're pouncing on these ones, the Ofwonos will get scared, but for a while. After 2 years, the Njalas will forget that Ofwono and his many cars were pardoned, the car carriers and paraded. I had said on this show before that if you want shock therapy, that's good. But of what evidential value in the courts?
Well,
that way. And just before that, Parliament, particularly the office of the Speaker, is called, put their tape, scene of crime. But Parliament hasn't been briefed. This one I'm sitting in now. Don't you find it strange that your house is a scene of crime? Now, members of Parliament who should be the lead, they should have been the lead complainant. As I told you, we can challenge the Auditor General if he has an audit report pointing these red flags, if he has.
Well,
that's what I'm saying. I think this is mainly for shock therapy, but that's also good that shock therapy.
Temporarily.
Yeah. Amnesia. to administer amnesia.
Well, how wide should the net be cast in the fight against corruption? That and much more. We'll also be looking at the politics. Could this be ushering in a new politics that the country should be watching? We'll be back.
Frontline.
Can I have a light, please? What is this?
Castle light, the best testing light.
Try it.
Try it, try it, try it. Da, 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 da.
Guys, look at this post.
Nothing hits like extra cold. Castle Light. Try it.
The National Mosquito Net Distribution Campaign is back. No one should die of malaria in this era. It is your responsibility to chase malaria from your home. The good news is that the government of Uganda has once again started distribution of mosquito nets under the 5th Universal Coverage Campaign, also known as the Under the Net campaign. Under this exercise, 1 mosquito net will be distributed per 2 people in every household. A village health team member, a community health extension worker, also known as a CHU, and the LC1 chairperson will move house to house to register members of the household in preparation for receiving their mosquito nets. Do not lie back. Ensure that you register all your household members to receive a mosquito net. On the distribution date, move to your distribution point and receive your net. Mosquito nets protect you and your family members from infectious mosquito bites that lead to malaria. Ensure that you receive the net, hang the net, and sleep under the net every night.
Why pay for someone else's repairs? Say goodbye to hidden costs and hello to peace of mind of a brand new start. Discover the Suzuki range of unmatched fuel-efficient and reliable options. From the iconic Jimny to the new Across Hybrid. Find the perfect blend of style and world-class efficiency. Upgrade today and enjoy 1 year of free fuel and comprehensive insurance, plus 2 years of free service and a 3-year warranty. Trade in your current car or choose financing to start driving as you pay installments. Don't wait. Visit the Suzuki showroom today or call 0800-211-033 to get started.
The problem is the foundation.
Do you know the kind of cement I'm using in this foundation? I guarantee you even my grandchildren will come and find this house.
You buy your buy today and get the job done. Strong, reliable, available at hardware shops countrywide.
So tasty, delicious, some snacks.
Some snacks.
So yummy, yummy.
Yummy, yummy.
Boy and girl, come here, son. Uncle Son's got you. May have some snacks for you. Your man, papa, your granny and your picnic. Well, if I can, the snacks for you. Come pick anything you want. Some snacks for your tummy. Yummy, yummy.
Sam's, delivering memorable moments in every household.
In a digital world, not everything is what it seems. False stories today spread faster than truth, leaving us all wondering what's real. Disinformation misleads, misinformation misguides and spreads confusion and fear. Dismiss, a campaign to help you think critically, question wisely, and verify thoroughly. Join us. Let's build a more informed Uganda, one truth at a time. Dismiss, inquire, verify, confirm. Together, let's fight fake news.
And that's it for today. Till the next episode.
Odonga like a daily bando, like a daily bando, like a daily bando. Omuliro nguwulira muli mu mutima gukankana like drums. Kalakata, kalakata, endungu ya kusabula. We gonna do free of fire, free of fire, free of fire.
Frontline.
Welcome back. It's the Frontline as we continue unpacking the complex questions as government now cracks the whip on corruption. Could it be more of politics than indeed a fight against corruption? Well, Honorable Mwiru, the why now question suffices here. Why now? I mean, these people couldn't have accumulated all these monies insanely in a way that without the attention of the relevant authorities then. Why now?
You see, we have ever had a budget officer, I think on Otto, you remember, he was called Ngorove, who was victimized and was charged for budgeting an item which caused nugatory expenditure. You understand? But because now apparently, I was talking to one of the lawyers, then he was asking that now which money was lost, one of the defense lawyers. That you see, we listened to the charge and we're not understanding the charge. Maybe we wait for disclosures because the money was budgeted. The money was received, the money was passed on. So which money was lost? Because we were not understanding what they are choosing his client. You understand?
Nobody's now.
Yes, nobody's now. Okay. Who said that? We are not understanding. But maybe we are waiting for disclosures because it's not an issue that the money was budgeted. Neither is it an issue that the money was received, that the money was passed on, the money was expended. That's what I told that. You see, what were the guidelines? That when you receive money, what do you use it for? Because by the fact that the whole government, the so-called circular, they advise that this money is available. 28 billion for giving out the way actually they wanted. And they made it available. Because when they release money to a district, they normally give an advisory. They say we have released 20 billion. This is for wage. This is for water. This is for so and so. But this one they release, it is up to Honorable Opondo, the speaker, to know how actually it's spent. But beside that, you see, Honorable Odonga, let me also tell you this. We have had the Auditor General. Parliament has considered the Auditor General's reports. And the government has, the audit cycle is supposed to issue Treasury Memorandum on recommendations of Parliament. Government has only issued 32%, 38%, has acted on the recommendation by a percentage of 38%, meaning 62% is not acted on. So if the other narrative that now they are fighting corruption, the one you are inviting me to belong to that school of thought, that now they are very serious, it's also not true. Because 62% of the Treasury Memorandum they have to take action on issues of corruption, they have all feared, they have kept away because they involve their people. Just like what the issue you are raising. Of course, the president is a consumer of intelligence. He knew that now they diverted the road to increase the cost. Because we kept on also asking, when you drive on that road, we knew the road was not ending. Maybe we thought the money we don't understand what is taking place until you get the actual detail. To me, like the public wants to know who is in prison and who has been arrested, and how much has been recovered. But three, and most important, there is the biggest problem now of the country. It's not even corruption.
It is maladministration. Those people are supposed to be fighting corruption. Like, don't supposed to act on the treasury memoranda. If you are not acted, and we keep doing on the same thing, what is going to happen? Because there are many organs claiming to be fighting corruption who seem to be covering the truth more than they are revealing it. You understand?
So could they be accomplices in this matter?
You see, there was a story, I don't know whether you see some of the ministers that also, one minister was telling me that when they raided the former speaker's house, there were two raids. The first one, they told the president, these people, whoever went there, they just stayed up themselves like two strangers who had stepped into someone's elevator. It's just a question of sharing what was there. They told him that there was no money found. He said, no, you go back. He sent another team. You understand? Because there's another joint team to engage in this. What we want to see also, as Honorable Opondo was saying, are there laws because we have what we call the audit cycle, that when you appropriate money, it must be accounted for. The Honorable Otto said there's what we call the retire accountabilities. Once you give money, like for example, when you are still like in Parliament, whenever you would receive money, before you go either you ask for money, they would ask you to account. There's an office which retires accountability, and they would call you that Honorable Mwiru, we don't see your boarding passes for this period. And if you did not travel or you returned early, they will check on the boarding pass, and they will issue instruction to deduct money from the accounts from your pay. People will receive pay slips when they have deducted. You understand? The same thing now applies to, that's not just about those people who are actually arrested. Like Honorable Opondo was saying, when I was a vice chair of Public Accounts Committee, I was still a firebrand, I was a young man. By then they would pay cash to MPs who would go to the field. So they would walk in, sign, you go to take fuel at the career. Nobody knows what I would do. By the time you are setting over now, you are 30, and then you are now 6. So when I returned, I issued a memo and I recovered the money from whoever had the. Then people said, this is not a school. No, you are misbehaving. Of course, I was wondering, we are an accountability committee. You have received the money, you have taken out of the bus, and we are reaching the field, we are 6 people. How people who signed it? That's what caused actually to remove that issue. Now they pay when you have returned. Before, that was the practice.
Meaning you mean I should fund the parliament for official work?
Yes, yes, you must fund money for official work because you abused it. And now for us, the leaders, you don't have a problem. Or is your friend. He behaves in a very dishonorable way. But if you don't take action on him, it's going now to become the practice. That's why that you realize that the leaders in the committee were not actually loved by members. That's why the spirit of the committee is having money. It's like to be like the carrot and the stick. If I deduct money from you today, next day you become disciplined, I give you a treat.
As I move to the next speaker, would you connect this to the new politics, the new dawn of politics, that perhaps there is a passive revolution happening?
I want to dismiss that school of thought. First, like what we have gathered, I didn't want to delve into the speculative politics, but what we have also gathered, there were a lot of reports that the former speaker had a lot of money. But whether I think she had been tipped by the investigators themselves that they were coming, you understand, that actually, literally, there is no physical cash she recovered. That even while she's even still under house arrest, they want her to surrender the money. In case she does not, she will be charged. Because there is also fear that if you purge her out the way they did, you understand, and she goes to the opposition with that money, maybe she can become a very big problem. You understand?
So they are closing in on her.
They're also trying to close in on her because all those people they have actually charged, they were all their statements, from what I have gathered, they were saying, for us, we received the money. They are accepting and passed on because I'm a vote holder and this is a planned activity. Once we take money and say we have received the money in this quarter, so for what activity? You go back to the work plan. You understand? And then you issue a requisition for the money as it has been budgeted. Because you see, the question now would be, we would now, for instance, was about the activity officer with the question responsibility. The activity officer was the speaker, according to the way the budget did. They were the speaker, the one who at whose mercy one will determine whether to give or not to give.
Well, thank you. Honorable Wakida, what is clear is that these were assistants to the Speaker. Do you imagine there is more of politics in purging the Speaker? You've seen the trail of events, how they've been happening, and it all rotates around the person of Anita Mo.
No, I don't want to think so. I think the problem in Parliament is system. And the construction of local councils and Parliament and how it functions. In fact, this calls for a deeper reflection on how money of Parliament, especially allocated to, say, speakers, should be treated. If you went to a local government, let me take you down to the local government at the district. The speaker is allocated some money for monitoring and activities. But the speaker does not hold any project. So what happens then is that the speaker moves with a person who would have made the requisition. And it's that person who therefore makes the requisition and accounts for it. I am only just wondering whether Obore and the group are being accused of failure to account for the money. Because it looks like they withdrew the money. If the money was withdrawn for a project, have they accounted for that money? If they haven't accounted for that money, then they are liable for a crime they committed of accountability of money advanced to you. I saw even in Parliament there is office for advances.
Advances?
So, yes, advances. So that is where the problem is. Can we trace this money to the Speaker's desk? You will find it very difficult, probably, to say, even when it was allocated to her, this is the much she spent. But like I said, are you able therefore to say, wait a minute, we gave you this money to spend on this and this and this? In the absence of that, it becomes very difficult for you to question. It only becomes a moral question that you have a lot of money at your disposal. When we went to Entebbe, it was at the top of the crisis, the arrest and all this of Anita, you remember. I expected the chairman to talk about it. What they did is they printed a document which had been, I think, issued by Ian Clark. You remember that? Print. And they distributed to us. A summary of that was that you do not show wealth, that you are very rich amidst poor people, amidst people who are struggling. They will assume that you stole. That was the article.
But even there, Ian Clark's article, I think, was written with a lot of ignorance, in my view. Because, yes, it was saying, as a leader,
yes,
among poor people struggling, living ostentatiously when they don't know what else you do to earn money except being in a public office.
Yes, absolutely.
But remember, when this thing exploded in 2023, the Speaker had 3 functions. I don't know if people remember. First of all, to commission a house, a residence, that magnificent.
She took all the MPs.
Where all the MPs went.
Were summoned.
No, I imagine they were invited. And unless some of them come and say they were coerced to leave their homes in Kampala to travel there. But they were invited, and you could see the broad smiles on their faces. True, that was also the time which it coincided with the CDF, I think, was going to Soweto
yes,
somewhere.
listed there.
And all of them were made to line up to receive the CDF and shake his hands. Remember? Then came the presidential visit. Then came the commissioning of the stadium, which also coincided with the tournament for the East African School Games, football and other things. And I do recall the president saying, and then it coincided also with the issues of homosexuality law and the sanctions. And then the president himself, maybe, with the hindsight, I think, maybe as an intelligence officer, he was lowering Anita out of the hall. Because the president said, no, these accusations against Anita are not accurate.
My daughter.
I am actually the one who gave her
200 cows.
No, 2 billion.
Yes.
Then the cows. And I remember that time I wrote an article and I said, how does it look for a Speaker of Parliament who every Ugandan knows earns well, earns good money, has other freebies, official freebies, to be given 2 billion. Then the president even added a rider. He said, I even bought her a house. I bought a second one in Akasero. I even made a contribution for the one in Chigo. And all of us know that the president has been helping. And then I even said, how do voters feel if you have appointed a vice president, second in the country, and you contribute for her to buy a house? How would the voters feel? So, for me, I agree with Wakida that the problem we have is systemic. Now, you are focusing on the money. Can all these people now, laughing, the members of parliament particularly,
Yes.
members of parliament, of the current parliament and the one that went. In that parliament, I'm just finding out that virtually half the ministers, or 30% of them, have relatives they brought to be employed without advert, without qualifications.
And outside the structure.
Outside the structure. They bring them, somebody brings, there are those with the wives, official wives. Then there are those with the concubines. Then there are those with the children, their biological children. I'm told there's even a letter existing where somebody gave a list, 47 people to be recruited. So we're now going to this parliament, we are going to demand that from the Right Honorable Otto, we must conduct a thorough on all aspects of that parliament.
Thank you.
And I hope our colleague ministers, particularly of the previous and the previous members of parliament who had influence there are four former members of parliament who participated in elections, lost, and are now staff. Without structure, without advert. I hope they will be courageous to speak the truth when we have those inquiries.
You want to name them?
For now, no. I want to use the privilege of the House. The audit will bring them out.
The biggest problem, there are 1,100 employees of parliament and there are 500 MPs. So even it is overstaffing. I don't know which concern.
Patrick, you may continue. Yes.
The question is, who will clean parliament? Can parliament clean itself? Because I can't.
Unfortunately, the way they made the law, the constitution and the law now, it needs a shock therapy, actually.
Perhaps this operation can help.
One of the challenges of institutions is if institutions do not have checks and balances, they rot. And for us in governance literature, we advocate that there must be levels of checks and balances.
No, but you see, they actually mechanism for checks, but it has been compromised. For example, I've just been reading the Administration of Parliament Act, the rules of procedure and so on. Do you know the power they gave the Speaker? Incredible. The Speaker can actually create new offices without reference to anyone. If you have a situation where the Speaker can influence, can determine the people who become commissioners, if you have a reckless Speaker, how can you have a useful commission?
I think,
as you conclude, yes.
I think Parliament needs to clean itself. We must demonstrate that we are ready to be accountable. You need a new commission that will follow up these things.
Yeah, but the evils of Parliament are endemic. They've
They're
been around
endemic,
for ages.
but you know, Parliament can actually
It wasn't
amend
there when
its
Wakapa
own
was
rules,
there.
isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Parliament can amend its own rules. As new Parliament, we can accept to be tainted or to amend rules and abide by those rules. And I am hoping that with Ofwono, Opondo, and the Mwirus in that Parliament, we should reflect on how people look at us. A few days ago, I pondered whether I was in the right place. I hate the word corruption. I come from a very poor community. That community, 1 billion changes life. For you to be talking about 190 billion, 200 billion shillings eaten by individuals or misused or not accounted for, it's painful. My children in school, in primary school in my village, sit on the floor. They only need desks. There.
Medicine in health centers.
You belong to NRM.
I am a member of NRM. And I want that transformation to happen.
So
the little money allocated for Ministry of Health, for the education sector, for the roads in these communities, it's just good that we do support.
Thank you. Honorable Dongoto, you gave it to Muhoozi, but it's civil society that started all this. Agora. Where is the opposition that could have perhaps awakened the masses on this gross corruption? Could they be accomplices in the eating?
And the best person probably to answer that is Wakida, because now they want to elect the leader of opposition. The NRM has reached a level where they want to choose who should oppose them. Because some of these issues, if you had a formidable and strong opposition, that would be raising these issues. Not only issues of corruption in Parliament, even issues of human rights. Wakida, you should tell me whether we need to amend the law. Because the current law says you have a problem with me, like what they did today to Obore is very good. You take them to police, to IGG, and then you take them to court, and then remand them to Luzira.
Let me give you
So you should tell us whether we should amend the law that now we say you take people anywhere.
No.
Because for me, I want to be picked, but I want to tell Mwiru that I am at Central CPS, you come. So these are the things we want you, members of Parliament, to be asking. Who added the basement in our laws?
There are things.
But one
So before getting diverted,
yes.
This credit of fighting corruption, now fighting corruption has become a risky business. The credit does not, in my opinion, go to President Museveni. The credit in the last 2 months, to me, goes to General Muhoozi. All these institutions have failed.
But is the same person implicated in basements?
Yes. Human rights, zero. Human rights, zero. Fighting corruption, huge percentage. Roads in Kampala, KCCA, huge percentage. So much as we are saying someone is doing a good thing in this area, it does not mean we clap our hands for people to go and put on pampers in the basement. That one you don't count on me. So the point I'm saying is the institutions have failed. The Auditor General is the watchman of watchmen. Parliament has failed. The Auditor General has failed to clean Parliament. The IGG has failed. The Director of Public Prosecution has failed. Human Rights Commission is saying everything is okay. The judiciary is limping. Parliament is in a cemetery. So now you see a wave of someone just coming, say you have stolen money, you have done this. The Ugandans out there are saying, instead of having people in neckties saying, audit report, query, what? They want to see the thieves going to prison. And I can bet, I don't agree, Simon, with amending.
So you love rudimentariness in this case?
No.
Odonga.
No, but what I'm saying is, no one is doing anything about anything, but we have seen someone doing something about something.
Odonga. By doing what? Moses.
By doing what?
How many senior army officers are incarcerated in Makinde now? How many? Over 40. Why? Corruption. Even a mere supplying sand for KCCA, wrong tonnage, different to what is quoted, you go to prison. Where was the IGG? Where was the IGG when Mwiru was arresting these people? Where was Parliament? Where was DPP? So it looks like the law does not work. Ugandans are saying it's good.
So Ugandans are settling for lawlessness.
Can I develop my point? Because you people
accept the interjection. Yes.
You see,
accept the interjection.
Before I accept this,
I think it is better to justify both and say, since institutions are not working, laws are not working, the way we treat the corrupt, the ones who are charging with corruption, the ones who don't speak well, it's also good for them to go to the basement until we sort out ourselves. And for me, I would go with you that way, that let us have the same standard. Let people go to the basement, let the corrupt be also handled outside the
No, you see, we should be like Italians. Italians utilize your strength and minimize your weakness.
I want to answer you.
Why would you find the problem with the ones being taken to the basement in the Pampas?
Because that is violation of human rights. Why would you support any leader who violates rights of people? Why would you support any activity of someone who arrests people without producing them to a police station?
I think there is a contradiction.
No, there is no contradiction.
Let me answer him.
Can I just conclude this?
Let me answer you.
Can I just conclude this?
Accept another interjection.
Allow my interjection. You see, what defines leaders is that they follow the rules. No matter what you do. A country without rules is a dead end. I cannot appreciate anything that is done outside of the Constitution. You want to do whatever you want to do. Do it well. And I think all these discussions that Otto is raising, you are in
Parliament there, you are in the NRM caucus. Why don't you condemn Mwiru from there? You have let it to those of us who are outside.
No,
why are you quiet there?
You see, everything has got, and I want to make this very clear. Everything has got its time, and it should be brought at the right time. There are things that many of us look and say, let's study it. You are raising contradictions. You are saying this person is good to fight corruption, but this very person is doing this wrong.
Yeah, precisely. That's what I'm saying.
Let me tell you, everything that you see in this country was defined. Laws were set.
Thank you. Another interjection, then I'll give you space.
I understand where my brother, Honorable Odonga, is coming from. Of late, has been a critique of General Mwiru over human rights violations. And I think he's on the list. He's on the list people being looked for. So, he has to make a way.
That is trivial.
He's making a way of how to reach home properly. Because, for instance, when we talk about the money, Honorable Odonga, you know that part of this money, it is what has been destabilizing the opposition. Because at one time, one MP was telling me, because I was trying to talk to him, that you see, when you go to the speaker, she pulls something and gives you something. When you go to Kyagulanyi, he just talks, doesn't give you anything, and then you actually go away. So I asked him, but Kyagulanyi has no budget. The speaker is spending from the budget. You are not able to give you what? You understand? Because you see, that man had made people to think that you see the speaker was very magnanimous, she was a kind person, and then therefore first should give something. That's part of the money. That's why the last thing President Museveni would do is to charge Honorable Anita Among and lamp on that charge. Because part of the money, she was actually, in a way, for compromising the opposition.
So these are small fish, right?
So to me, unless I've seen Honorable Anita added on the charge sheet, I'll take this fight very
this one's a sacrificial land.
For instance,
make your point.
This one, what money? Because which money got lost? Because all the money was received and it was passed on. The person who was passed on is there.
Oh, all right.
But the person
please
Mwiru, you know, you people,
we won't interrupt you.
You are very comfortable in Parliament. I know.
You are comfortable there for 20 years.
A good paycheck.
Comfortable for 20 years.
And of course, a job where you earn 30 million a month is a good job. You have to speak in tongues at times. But the point I'm saying, if we put it on a weighing scale, there is a new development in the current government of fighting corruption. We are seeing.
Which one?
Their development.
Is it cosmetic or real?
Whatever it is, outside there, we want to see more people arrested, even ministers. We want to see both the former speaker and deputy speaker being charged. Because we are talking as if now it is only the speaker of parliament. Because people are now saying, why is it that those who are arrested today, their names are only O's? Why?
No, there is a Raja Bukhari.
Yeah, most of them, 90%. So it's okay. So we are saying there is something new in this government that relates to fighting corruption. And we should learn to give credit where it is due. But at the same time...
Someone sent me WhatsApp and said, Otto is being very dishonest in praising the Geno. The same Geno...
You fear mentioning his name?
...is now having Honorable Mawanda very high in the ranks of PLU. So is that a real fight?
You see, you know the problem with Ugandans, they want you to behave like you are an orthodox opposition from birth to death. You don't have to give credit where things are due. For example, you go to Nasa Road. For the first time in the history of this country, you see a road which is cast in concrete from the beginning to the end. I last saw that road in Ghana when you are leaving, going to Akasombo Dam, done by President Kwame Nkrumah. And this is UPDF Construction Brigade. The improvement in the roads in Kampala we have seen over the last 6 years is more than the improvement in all the roads over the last 20 years.
So
what is wrong with that?
Do you know the cost of a kilometer, which I've done there compared to what?
But at least you see the roads. Where I disagree, and this one I disagree, is violation of human rights. You don't arrest me and take me to a basement and brag about it. Actually, for me, if you want to do that, you'd rather kill me. And these days, Mwiru, those days we could leave our phones home and our spouses would call you and say, you have left your phone home, come and pick it. Even when you are 1 kilometer, you'll go back and pick it. But these days, you leave home without your passport. Even if you are 10 kilometers, you'll go back to pick and carry it. Because these are not normal times. The bar of human rights, which has been set by President Museveni, has been greatly lowered by PLU and Kabanda. That one we have to criticize and say this is very bad. Well, where they have done good, we should learn to say, much as you have used unlawful means, at least Ugandans are seeing results.
We're taking a very short break, and definitely when we return, we'll be asking what to watch next as the news goes around public officials who are allegedly embezzling funds. We'll be back.
NBS Frontline.
Hey,
Hey travelers, are you a family gearing up for that big vacation, a hustler working abroad coming home, or your squad chasing sunsets and passport stamps? It's time you lock in. Say goodbye to long airport queues, shocking roaming bills, and the stress of hunting for local SIM cards, because now you can travel like a local. Stay connected in over 180 countries. Just scan, tap, and boom! Instant data the moment you reach your destination. Get your Rogue Travel eSIM today at travel.roguetelecom.co.ug. Contact us on 020-5000123.
Across Uganda, the parish development model is paving the way for prosperity, helping families transform their lives through strategic farming practices, like the 4-acre model.
In our Chibaro of 1996, we said first acre, put coffee. Second acre, fruits. The third acre, you put pasture for dairy cows. The fourth acre, for food, cassava. The good thing is that now cassava is also becoming a very good cash product. But at least for food. Then, mind you, the backyard. You put poultry for eggs, you put piggery.
I'm in a 1-acre plot of land. In this 1 acre, Your Excellency, I practice this banana plantation. I also practice coffee. I also have dairy, Your Excellency. Every month, Your Excellency, I get 500,000 from these bunches.
The 7 activities we recommended, they have a big global demand.
We have 10,000 Nile tilapia fish and 10,000 African catfish. And when we sell our 10,000 tilapia, we get in one harvest 20 million shillings.
Fruits, especially capsule, which is cold, can do very high value crops like apples. And then finally, those who are near the wetlands, like the ones in Bukit who are wasting the wetlands, they should do fish farming, not in the center of the swamp, but at the edge of the swamp.
From coffee farms to fish ponds, the 4-acre model is empowering Ugandans to transform their lives. The parish development model is your pathway to wealth creation. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance.
Breaking now. Now Post delivers Uganda's fastest, accurate news as it happens. From hard-hitting headlines to exclusive interviews, we bring details of stories everyone is talking about. Accurate, fast, and balanced. Get every update at nowpost.co.ug. Follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and never miss a moment. The Now Post. Accurate news, fast.
You are known way differently. Who knows you better than the Father himself? Hallelujah. So what he knows of you, you shall be known also as he knows of you. There shall be no contradictions henceforth. Hallelujah. No contradictions whatsoever. If he says you're the head, because he knows you as that, you're the head.
Watch the power of prophecy with Prophet Elvis Mbonye this Saturday, 6:30 p.m. on NBS TV, Uganda.
The Ministry of Health informs the public to remain vigilant against Ebola virus disease. Symptoms include diarrhea, vomiting, abdominal pain, fever, and body weakness. If you or someone you know develops the symptoms, seek medical attention immediately. Protect yourself and others by avoiding handshakes and unnecessary physical contact, washing your hands regularly with soap and water, or using an alcohol-based sanitizer. Cleaning frequently touched surfaces and avoid direct contact with infected persons' body fluids like vomit, stool, sweat, and urine. To report a suspected Ebola case, send an SMS to 6767 and type alert, or call the toll-free number 0800 100 066. Report early, protect lives.
The world is going digital and creativity is no longer just a passion, it's a pathway. Next Creator is building dignified job opportunities for young people by turning creativity into real careers. It's about more than just content. It's about learning digital skills that lead to sustainable income, branding yourself with confidence, understanding influence and the digital economy. Next Creator equips young creators with the tools they need to grow, adapt and thrive in a fast-changing world. If you want to turn your ideas into opportunities, if you want to make creativity work for you, this is where you start. Next Creator, your skills, your future, your opportunity.
When the news moves, you move with it on AfroMobile. Get real-time updates and the moment they unfold. Choose from over 80 live TV and radio channels and follow current affairs your way on the platforms you rely on the road, in the office, in the middle of your work, or out and about. AfroMobile keeps the story going with you. Download AfroMobile today and stay connected to every update as it happens.
Breaking now. Now Post delivers Uganda's fastest, accurate news as it happens. From hard-hitting headlines to exclusive interviews, we bring details of stories everyone is talking about. Accurate, fast and balanced. Get every update at nowpost.co.ug. Follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok and never miss a moment. The Now Post. Accurate news, fast. Frontline.
Welcome back. It's the Frontline as we connect dots on the developing story around the fight, what is now billed as a fight against corruption. I just need to remind our viewers out there that it's been 18 years down the road. As Next Media, we're more than thrilled, we're overjoyed and really thankful for the support that you've rendered to us. You've been amazing viewers over the years. And hey, as we celebrate 18 years, there's a lot in store. Just keep tuned. We'll be unveiling quite a number of things. We'll also be bringing some of those historicals, the legends who are with us, who have since left, but they will be coming home, and it's going to be very exciting. So we have a series of broadcasts, a series of very exciting things. Just keep watching. Well, getting straight to the issue. How does the current excitement, the hysteria generated about the arrests of Obore and others, feed into the general politics of the day? With speculation
First of all, before your 18 years, you know, I've been much with you. I've been taken to court twice by now colleagues who have had the same predicament. First of all, Miriam Matembe, doctor, took me to court because we had the rough altercation here. I floored her. And I had chosen not to speak about it, but let me speak about it because of the 18 years. Elias Lukwago took me to court, also floored him. I want to thank my lawyers.
So your moments have been thorny.
Yes, it is a real frontline. So I want to thank my lawyers. And unfortunately, but which is also good, in each of those judgments, the judges said each party should meet their cause. So I have had nothing to ask from them. And
but you've mended fences with
them.
Yes,
we have. You see, I honestly think that we have bust up in these talk shows, but no hard feelings. They abuse me, you also pinch them somewhere, and that's really. And like these ones, we have been practicing politicians. I think that's how it should be. We shouldn't be taking each other to court over things in the
bus stops.
Bus stops in the. You know, we have had with you.
Oh, several.
Yeah, several. But you have never taken me to court. You have never blocked me from your Twitter account.
You even blocked me.
Yes,
on X, but it's
yes,
okay.
this is okay. So we have had with the Odonga. You remember he said, "I'm not an MP." He went through the window. I just laughed it off. So. No, but yeah, it is good.
Talking politics now.
Yeah, it is good. That's why I'm saying. In NRM, party and government, there is lethargy. I think, particularly now with the 40 years in the government, his age 82, the president came in was 42, 46, 42 years. You don't expect him to be as vigorous as a younger person. But I think he also has the advantage of, you know, for us who have been with the president much closer, sometimes in meetings he tells you, there was a time when there was no money in Uganda. Now we have had some money. Even if people steal, they will not steal the whole country. Sometimes you'll be flabbergasted, but I think he sees far. Mm-hmm. And you have had him recently. The issue of Beticamia, lifestyle audit. He said if you ever scare people, they will not stop stealing, but they will steal this money and take it somewhere. Now,
is it a sign of benevolence? Or?
No. I think he's practical. I think the president has been practical, and I think his line has been largely correct. The reason you have seen, even when you are complaining of corruption abuse, you are seeing the country not stagnant.
Now there is a new force called PLU on
yes,
top of things.
So in that context, therefore, that's why I'm saying this shock therapy is good. At some point, that shock therapy needs to be clothed in the legal way to give it a veneer of acceptability. Even these human rights things you people are complaining about, is it normal? With due respect, my older sister, Miriam, at that age of 73, 74, a lawyer of repute. She has been a teacher, she has been a politician, she has led women movement emancipation. Do you think it is right for her at that age to abuse people, to insult people the way she does, even when they are not here? I can insult Odonga, who we are with here, because he can reply immediately. So I think sometimes some of those actually invite this to themselves. And I think, no, that's my opinion. No. Even the Miriam Matembezi, I think need this shock therapy.
Did she deserve the
to say, oh, so I can also be tackled. You remember, I think it was you moderating on this show, and Honorable Ruth Rankabra has never come back to this show. Well, Matembe is there. When she called Ruth Rankabra on this show, I was with them. A thief, this.
Who called them?
Miriam. Ruth absorbed it until the end of the show and said, I will never come back there. So,
you want to suggest Matembe deserves the kind of treatment she went through?
Honestly, you know, and that's why I'm saying shock therapy.
He's speaking his mind.
This me saying so. That I think, human rights, on the freedoms, I think we need, there comes a point when you say shock therapy probably can give us a jolt and say, the things I speak, like I may say, being taken to court, and you spend time, you're even seeing jail or losing money in the costs, compared to say, maybe I need to tone down. So this shock therapy, both on the way we are tackling the corrupt and the way we are tackling the people who abuse the others, abuse the state, abuse, on this show. You remember even that altercation between me and Rukwagu, you are not the moderator. On that show, he said it was the by-election of Sorot East. And he said the president is a thug, is a murderer. That's what he said. Actually, that's what brought issues. Now, you're Lord Mayor of the city, the capital city of Uganda. And in the show, and they're saying the president is a thug. What do you expect me, the spokesperson of the president? So I'm not justifying.
You decided to fight.
I'm not justifying.
You're vouching for state brutality, right?
But no. I'm not vouching for, and I've been on record. I am saying, probably we don't need to do that. I wrote last article. I said, you don't arrest a man, dress him to his and show his nude in public. I said so. To which I think that's why Odonga is saying, possibly I'm a candidate for the basement. I wouldn't mind if that's what the powers that we want.
If that's the shock therapy.
Yes.
Yeah, you're supporting shock therapy.
Yes.
You need to be checked as well.
No, I'm using.
Imagine at your age taking you to the basement.
I'm using.
To learn with
first of all, I don't
you
think
can
so.
even bite your tongue.
I don't think I'm a candidate. I don't think. First of all, I don't think I'm a candidate there. But I am saying, in society, in building society, that's why we say it breaks. You need to break an egg to have an omelette. That's an adage. So, what is important is the leaders, we the leaders. When we make those mistakes, whether deliberate or impunity, we need to reach a certain point and stop and say, when I lie on my back in the middle of the night on my bed, and I reflect on what I have done to others. Since I'm the leader, I have ability to change certain things. Tomorrow when I'm dealing with Odonga, do I deal with him the way I handled Rukwago or not?
Well, thank you.
And we can do that by progressively improving on the law, improving on the method of work, improving on the investigation. Because why are all these things? I think sometimes comes out of frustration, cumulative frustration. Take a case of an intelligence officer. Take a case of a police officer who sees you, has arrested you with the panga, you have broken into somebody's window. And then the following day, because of the human way of handling evidence, a judge, a magistrate says, no, you are innocent. Look at the mob justice. Of course, we who are in public authority ought not to get frustrated with the limitations of
Are you watching how PLE is now taking charge of things?
I wrote an article about two weeks ago, and I said that is the natural phenomenon of social change. NRM itself, where did it come from? NRM displaced UPM. At some point, it took. You remember when we were forming this new NRM now? Honorable Bidandi said the Secretary General of NRM of UPM tried to insist in our conference that we should name the new organization UPM. And because we are the younger people, we are the majority, we said, no. Tafadhali, let's ask them our organization, nationalization.
So the curtains are falling on NRM. You agree?
If the liturgy in NRM as is continues, because, and what's the liturgy? Politically, you cannot hold your elections 5 times now, 6 times, and the same issues keep cropping. People get disappointed. Stealing your own internal election, having violence, this. You have the majority in parliament. Right now we have 71.2. But we behave as if we're the minority. So what do you expect the younger people who actually like NRM, but they are frustrated that they are not given sufficient room within NRM? So it is up to the NRM, up to we, the other groups in the NRM, to make sure that we change our ways. If we don't change, change will change us.
Thank you. General politics. Today we're seeing corruption taking center stage, the clampdown on corruption, and it is being spearheaded by PLU.
Well,
do you give it to them?
I want to say that in statecraft, they are what we call state keepers. That's why you realize that when they are government, they are always the ideologues who would say, no, they don't do this thing. And they would always be there to act like a barrier. what we see today in terms of human rights violation, I want to depart from the school of thought of my brother of the shock therapy. Some of these guys, some of these old people have their ailments. There's what we call causation in law. That someone may have any other ailment, and as a result of the teaching someone to nyakol in the basement, may die in your hands. You know Manenero? The late Manenero? And Fefe? That blood stain is still in people's hands. But it's General Muntu who kept on saying that when he was in the uniform, he treated people fairly, so that when he's out of uniform, that people treat him the same way. What is happening today?
We shall have time to debate.
Yes, he kept on saying that is what I'm saying. And what we are seeing today is like our colleagues have the power. They can put aside the law, treat people the way they want to treat. And if you go back to the preamble of our Constitution, it talks about our history as a country and where we have come from. I would implore our colleagues that let us stick to the rules. Let us stick to the law. Because you see, these things change. The Opondo of 2001 is not the Opondo of today. Like I can find solace in confiding in him. Because now I know in Parliament, ever since he came to Parliament, is one person who means what he says. But one would say, would you confide in the Opondo of 2001?
Yes.
Well, Honorable Otto, as we get out of here, how does the current conversation fit into the general politics?
I think some of the viewers may not understand what Opondo means, shock therapy. I think it is this thing where they bring some people in hospital and they're so sick, then they put those things which look like a flat iron to try to pump life. So Opondo is justifying that the PLU action of shock therapy.
PLU, first of all, PLU is not in charge of the state.
Okay. Whoever that shock therapy
no. Actually,
they are calling the shots.
Any mistakes in the country, in the government, please, you have a group you elected. You have the leader of that group, Yoweri Museveni. Any shortfalls, hold him.
Yeah, the point I'm saying is...
Don't hold PLU.
President Museveni has said...
but this is a new outfit.
Yeah.
No, but they're not
Can
the
I
government.
just develop this point? President Museveni has set the bar so high. If you go to the border of Kenya, Kenyans drink in Uganda and walk back to sleep in Kenya. If you're in Uganda, you talk, but the moment you cross Kenya, you should go straight to your bed. The same in the border of Rwanda. So President Museveni has set the bar so high that arrest Odonga, take him to police, charge him, produce him in court. That bar, you remember in primary school, those who participate in high jump, if you don't prepare well, you'll come and go under the bar. You'll see it is so high that you cannot go over it. And that's the mistake PLU is making. You pick Opondo, you take him to the basement, you brag with this picture. This is someone's father. You are not following the law. Can you imagine Maria Matembe had to climb a tree to get into the fence of a neighbor? Someone of 72 years climbing a tree. Now, no one, whether shock therapy, whether what, no one should accept the issue of violation of human rights. President Museveni appoints the judges. President Museveni appoints the DPP, the prosecutor. So, arrest Mwiru Paul, take him to your most favorable judge, keep me at police. At police, the law says my relatives should visit me. Even the Bible says, at free time, visit prisoners. Mistake is for human beings, Simon. It's not for animals. So this philosophy of shock therapy, if I were an advisor to PLU, I would tell them concentrate on corruption and roads. Abandon, close the chapter of human rights. Can you imagine? Now, Kabanda is saying, Kabanda now, not even DPP, not even Muhoozi. Kabanda is now saying, I should be arrested for talking in the other talk show. So is
for crying?
Yes. Is it his tears? Does he even have tears anyway? So, what I'm saying is we should support human rights. If PLU does not raise the bar of human rights to the level President Museveni has set, they will not get state power. Just mark my word.
Frontline returns next week, Thursday. We are celebrating 18 years of NBS. What a moment to reflect. Looking back and forward. Have a lovely night.